So don't forget to follow me on Instagram, High Carb Health. Hit the follow button and click on the green H to see what I get up to. What I eat, what I do, it's all here. You can follow me on what I eat as well. So check it out, guys. Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. So we decided we'd do a bit of a Q&A session today with me and my brother. So a high carb health Q&A. Some of the questions that we didn't get around to with Judith, I think we're going to answer those. So we'll go through those. So let's start with the first question, which is, let me just bring it up. All right, so Miriam Mim asked us the question, were you on medications at the same time as obviously when you were on the program? I think Judith was not on any medication. I think she had done all her weaning off, but if anyone else wants to join the program or is on the program, we recommend obviously weaning off and talking to your doctor about it because it's not something that you want to take lightly. You need to be careful with that. And yeah, what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I think you don't want to do anything too drastic with medications. You don't want to give your body a big shock and send it into rapid detoxification if you just basically turn the switch off. It should be slow, but it really depends on the amount of medication you've taken, how long you've been on medication for, the strength of the medication. Like if you've been taking immunosuppressive medication, you probably want to do it slower than if you've been taking mesalazine, for example. And a lot of people on the program, they will wean their medications while they're working with us. So you don't necessarily have to stop your medication before you talk to us. Yeah, I think it's important to just be careful with it and don't rush into any decisions with medication.
Awesome. Yeah, and obviously the goal is to try and be off all medication. That's our goal anyway. And it was I don't want to be on medication for life. So if you do, then you can keep doing it. But that's the end goal. All right. So next question from Marion O'Brien. Sorry if I don't get these pronunciations right. How do you get enough B12 and iron, please? Do you want to go for that?
Yeah, I'll answer that one. I think that's a really good question. We're getting this question more and more, and I'll probably do a separate video on B12 especially. But B12 is a byproduct of bacteria, so it's a bacterial waste product, and therefore, because of the way society is today, and the way we've changed our hygiene in today's society, which is actually a good thing. We're a lot cleaner than we used to be. We don't get access to B12 anymore from our food. In the past, we would have got B12 from our food, because we were in contact with dirt and microbes. We would drink from the streams, and so we would get B12 from our food, and therefore we would meet our B12 requirements that way. Whereas nowadays, everything is antibacterial. We sanitize everything. Our food is sprayed for the most part, and so we don't get B12. And on a plant-based diet, we recommend a B12 supplement. Now, a lot of people say, this means that the plant-based diet is deficient in B12. Well, I guess the way it is in today's society, yeah, probably. But the animals that we eat, they don't get B12 either from their food. So they're taking a supplement. The farmers are giving them a supplement. And so either you're taking a supplement via the animal or you just take it yourself. So why not just take a supplement yourself and save yourself from all the harm that comes in animal foods, cholesterol, saturated fat, hormones. When you heat it, you get heterocyclic amines. In the gut, it produces trimethylamine oxide or TMAO. There's just so many things you don't want from that food. And so just take one simple supplement that doesn't actually do any harm to your body. It's just easier.
Yeah, and there's a funny meme as well. It says eating meat for B12 is like drinking Coke for potassium.
That's a good one.
I'll put it up on the screen.
Yeah, and then iron is not really a major issue on a plant-based diet unless you're having absorption issues, which you can have with digestive issues like inflammation in the bowel, but then you're not going to absorb iron from anything,
So
really.
what do you have to do? You have to make sure that your gut is healthy enough to absorb the iron first and worry about that
That's right.
instead of going and searching for
Yeah,
iron-laden foods like beans and things,
that's
right?
right.
So
Yeah,
don't go there.
yeah, exactly. First, heal your gut. Make sure it can absorb the iron from your food, and then you'll automatically get iron from the plant foods because all the minerals are found in the soil. Like iron is found in the soil. That's how the animals we eat get their iron that goes into their muscles.
Of course.
So, it's just important to understand that that you just want to make sure that you heal your gut. Absolutely, that's
And
really
also you need
the
to
first thing.
eat enough too. Remember that.
Mm,
If you don't eat
mm,
enough, you're not going to get enough
um,
nutrition
yeah.
as well.
The other thing is there's two types of iron. So there's heme iron and there's non-heme iron. So heme iron is a blood-based iron that's only found in animal products and animal flesh. So heme iron is a difficult one because too much heme iron has been shown to increase your risk of cancer, and we don't want that. And the other thing is that heme iron, there's no way to regulate heme iron in the body. With non-heme iron that comes from plants, the body can decide how much to absorb and how much to stay or discard in a way, which means it manages your iron levels according to what you need. Whereas with heme iron, you just absorb all of it, and most people in today's world, especially if they're eating animal foods, they have too much iron in their bodies, which obviously
It's not a
can
good thing.
create a lot of issues. Yeah,
Yeah, it's not a good thing, and it can oxidize in the body as well,
Mhm.
which is not good for you.
That's right.
Also,
Yeah,
a blood test, the ranges are really
yeah.
irrelevant. So you've got to actually talk to your doctor about it, and I would recommend talking to
Mm.
a plant-based doctor about it as well. I'll post
Yeah.
a
Oh,
link here about a really good article on iron as well. So it's
for
not actually a
sure,
bad
for
thing to have
sure.
low iron.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to have really low iron, but I mean, as long as you're relatively near to the lower end of the normal range, it's better to be at the lower end of the normal range rather than higher up because you don't want too much iron in your body.
Yeah, and if you are anemic or if you are getting signs of fatigue and dizziness, then
Mm,
you may need
mm,
to take an iron supplement. So just
yeah.
watch out for that. And I'll post down a link below where you can get a good
Mm.
iron supplement from. Not affiliated, guys. Also, okay, so let's move on to the next question. Hopefully that answered your
Yeah,
B12 and iron. Next question: which foods in particular did you eat? So this is probably
that's for you.
what, yeah, Judith. I worked with Judith, obviously. So
Yeah.
basically, she was very, very diligent. She knew exactly what she needed to do. So healing diet foods, all right? So she was doing fruit smoothies and steamed vegetables for dinner. Okay,
Mm,
there is a
mm,
little bit of tweaking that we did. Okay, but that's according to the individual. Okay, so
mm,
you can't just say, oh, Judith ate that, so I'm going to eat that. I'm going to heal as well. Okay, it doesn't work like
yeah.
that. We need to actually look at your lifestyle, look at the things that you've been doing in the past, the amount of medications, blah blah blah, and we need
Mm,
to, see that before we tweak anything. But the general base is, smoothies and steamed vegetables, and
mm,
also if you are if you're just coming off of animal-based diet, then we transition you towards the healing diet. I think with
yeah.
Judith, she was actually she went on to the healing diet straight away, and that's what her issue was because um,
Mm,
she found that it made her detoxify too fast. So we kind of changed things up a little bit and then sort of managed the healing diet afterwards. So yes, she
mm,
was
mm.
eating healing foods, but that was, we managed that. So it's a little bit different for different people. So that's my take.
Yeah. You can't compare your story to somebody else, like what because like the first time you healed in a week. That's unrealistic for most people,
Mm.
so you can't just compare, oh, Shamiz healed in a week, I'm going to heal in a week too. You have to understand, how the body works, and that's where the support and guidance really comes in. Like you can't just necessarily go straight onto the healing diet because you might detox too fast, or there may be other things that come up. So it's you can't give personalized advice on a forum like this. You need to actually talk to us if you want that.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's move on to the next question. So someone was asking, do you still have issues with your digestion? And obviously she would say, no, I don't, because otherwise she wouldn't be healed. So
Mm.
I think she did talk about that, so
I think
that's
she
fine.
answered that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
The next question from Rach Kessler. What did a typical day of eating look like during the healing process? I'll probably answer that in the last question, but during the healing process, this is not the transition. It'll be smoothie, steamed veggies. Okay, and that smoothie can include blueberries, but just depends on the individual if they can handle the blueberries. And dates and bananas are a really good start.
I think you made a really good video about what a day looks like on the healing diet, didn't you? I think you can maybe link it up here.
The best foods for the vegan healing diet. I think it was something like that.
Yeah, we'll link the video. We'll link the video.
Yeah, I'll link the video at the top. How long did it take to get through the detox phase? I think she did answer it, but we'll just maybe cover a little bit. So generally, on average, it takes about 3 months, right, for people to kind of.
For most people, yeah. It really depends on how long they've been with colitis or Crohn's, but around about 3 months for most people. Once they've finished all their medications, you can't just think of like once you start the program or you start healing diet and you're still taking your medications, you can't expect to heal when you're still on medications. So once you stop your medications, that's when you've got to think about, okay, the real healing starts from here, because that's when there's no suppression on your body any longer.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's move on to two more questions. I think.
Don't take that 3 months as like gospel. Okay, like some people take longer than that. Some people take much longer than that. Some people take less time.
Imagine if you've had like colitis for 15 years.
Yeah, and you've been on immunosuppressants for like
that's more than a decade. Years, That's more than a decade, and you expect your body to recover in 3 months. I think you probably need a little bit longer than that. Probiotic supplements for UC. Interesting question, eh? What would you say to that?
We don't really recommend a lot of probiotics at all, to be honest. We prefer to focus on the gut bacteria
from prebiotics, right?
Yeah, or prebiotics from fiber, so that the symbiosis can occur. Because a lot of these so-called bad bacteria are only there because of an environment that you create in your gut. And I think we're starting to find out more and more about this, where they're actually working symbiotically to clean up a mess. And so it's because your body couldn't digest the food. Now you've got undigested food in there that your gut can't deal with. So what do these bacteria do? They try and like eat it so that it can be removed from your system. And while they're doing that, it causes a bit of havoc and you don't feel very good, and there can be a lot of gas and cramps and pain and things like that. But I think the main goal is really to starve them, isn't it? We want to starve those bacteria. Stop feeding them.
Well, feed the good guys, right? Feed the good guys, and you can only feed the good guys if you feed yourself fiber, and fiber only comes from plants. So, and also I think the idea is not to rely on probiotics. If you've had antibiotics in the past, then maybe it could be beneficial to have some kind of probiotic. I wouldn't recommend raw milk or kefir because there's so many other bad things about that. I would recommend fermented vegetables, sauerkraut, something like that. That's going to be much, much easier to digest, and you get the prebiotic with the probiotic when you eat sauerkraut. So it's like a win.
I never got it. It doesn't make sense. I never understood it, but anyway, each of their own.
I mean, I think it's a selling point for some people, isn't it? Some people love to sell probiotics. Maybe there's a bit of money being made on that. All right, supplements for UC as well. That's an interesting one. I think we talked about low iron. So if you are anemic and if you are feeling dizzy, then it is always good to take an iron supplement. And the link will be down below anyway. But other than that,
but don't just take it because there's things you need to be aware of in the blood test. Like you're not always like I've had clients whose doctors have said that they're anemic, and I've looked at their blood tests and it's just on the lower end of the normal range, which is normal for a plant-based eater, and they're not actually low in iron. So it's like you need to be aware of how you're feeling. There's so many things around it. Like just because you're tired doesn't mean you're anemic. Are you getting enough sleep? Are you is your lifestyle habits good? You just don't take an iron supplement for the sake of it. And especially a lot of iron supplements are very risky and they're not good for you. So probably best to actually talk to someone before you start supplementing with iron just because.
Yep. No, that sounds pretty good. It's a pretty good answer. All right, let's go to the last answer. We'll wrap it up, otherwise it's getting a bit long. Is it bad to eat cooked food for lunch in the healing phase?
Mm.
Well, I mean, again, it's something that we need to talk to you about, and also see what your condition is like before we
Mm.
do two cooked meals, for example, to slow down the detox, and
Yeah,
that's what we're doing.
ideally you don't do two cooked meals on the healing diet, but in
It'll be
some
on the
cases
transition diet, won't it?
it's necessary. Yeah, but even on the healing diet, sometimes some people need to go two cooked meals depending on how severe their symptoms are. But again, you can't just make that decision on your own. It's something that uh, you really have to assess your situation and then decide. And we do that with our clients. We
Of
can
course.
decide, based on having that experience. But if you don't know, you don't really know what you don't know. So it's hard to know whether you should have two. But ideally, if everything's going well, you should be having two fruit meals
Two
a
fruit meals,
day
yeah, for
and one
sure.
cooked meal.
And it's interesting because I mean, a lot of people try doing this by themselves, and this is what we're here to. This is
Mm,
what our channel is about, to try and help them as much as possible to try and get them to do it by themselves. But if
yeah.
you do need that extra help or extra guidance, that's what we're here for. We're not, forcing
Mm,
you to join our program. I mean, we've got so much free content, and here's another
yeah.
bit of free content that we're pushing out for you guys because, you know, this is, doing a Q&A like this is so valuable because then you'll get a lot of information from this, and
Mm,
that's our, role is to give you the information, and you obviously make your mind up. But, um, you know,
mm,
you don't have to join our program. It's free content right here, and if you do need that extra guidance and help, then we're here to help you. We're not going to sell you anything. We're here to guide you and support you through the process of healing, and
yeah.
no
Yeah.
products. Yeah.
I mean, go to our website. What's in the shop? Some ebooks.
Yeah, and also, what about the
Like,
free consultation that I do for every
yeah,
person? I've probably seen well over 500 people,
yeah,
and talk to them about how their life is going, and give them tips and things. So I mean, look, there's a lot
yeah.
of stuff that we do behind the scenes that all you guys don't know
Mm,
about. Yeah, so if you did want that extra guidance and support, you know where we are. Fill out the health survey, and we'll give you a
mm.
free 30-minute consult. But again, guys, give this video a thumbs up if you found it useful. Okay, and if you want any more videos like this, comment down below, and we'll do another one like this. So if you have any
Mm.
other questions, then we're more than happy to make these videos and talk about UC and Crohn's, because
Mm.
that's what we're about.
Yeah, absolutely. Just note the question in the comment section of this video, and we'll make another one probably next week if we get enough questions. And also, if you want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button and click on the little bell so you get email notifications every time we upload a new one.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video, and remember, stay high carb healthy.
See you guys.